Welcome students. Today we are going to study about the animal tissue, and in that we will study about connective tissue. In last video we have studied about epithelial tissue. Now we know that animal tissues are grouped in four categories: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. We have studied about epithelial tissue, which is covering and protecting tissue basically. We have also studied about the types of epithelial tissue. Now today we will be studying about connective tissue. The connective tissue can be described as packaging and binding tissue of the body. It acts as packaging and binding tissue. As the name suggests, connective, its main function is to connect different parts, different organs or different tissues of the body. Also, it helps in packaging and it binds the organs together. So this is the basic function of connective tissue. Connective tissue are further divided into various types. There are 8 types of connective tissue. You can see here: adipose, roller, tendon, ligament, bone, cartilage, blood and lymph. These 8 types of connective tissues are grouped in various categories. Sometimes it is distributed into proper connective tissue, which includes tendon, ligament, adipose and areolar; skeletal tissue, which includes bone and cartilage; and fluid connective tissue, which includes blood and lymph. Sometimes it is generally categorized as dense connective tissue like adipose, areolar, tendon, ligament, bone, cartilage, and fluid connective tissue, blood and lymph. So there are various techniques to group these connective tissue. Here we will study about all these 8 connective tissue one by one. That is adipose, areolar, tendon, ligament, bone, cartilage, blood and lymph. So let's start with the adipose tissue. So the first connective tissue that we are going to study is adipose tissue. Adipose tissues are round or oval shaped cells. These cells are generally tightly packed. The structure is round and oval generally. These are filled with fat globules. The cells are filled in with fat globules and these act as fat storage tissue. Fat is stored in this tissue. These tissues are present beneath the skin and around internal organs. Beneath the skin, these are present as a layer, and the extra fat of the body is stored in this adipose tissue. It is also present around internal organs and at some other areas where extra fat is stored. So its basic function is storage of fat. It also acts as insulator. As fat is an insulator, so it acts as an insulator and keeps the body warm. It also protects delicate organs from shock and jerks. It is present, as stated earlier, it is present around internal organs. So it forms a layer around those internal organs and protect those organs from external shock, jerk and injury. Like it is present around kidneys and helps in protection of these organs. So the basic function of adipose tissue is the storage of fat, and along with that it acts as an insulator and protects the delicate organs from shock and jerk. The next connective tissue is areolar tissue. Areolar tissue are a group of loosely packed cells. The cells are loosely packed and these are fibrous in nature. Fibers are present in the matrix of these areolar tissue. Areolar tissues are present everywhere in the body. It is present in the gaps between the body and between the organs. Wherever two organs are there, between those two organs, areolar tissues are present. It is the packaging and supportive tissue. It packs the different organs and helps them to maintain their position. So it is the basic packaging tissue and supportive tissue. It also helps in repairing tissues. So it acts as repairing tissue. The damaged tissues are repaired with the help of areolar tissue. It's another function that it joins skin to muscles. So it is another function of areolar tissue. So there are two connective tissue, adipose and areolar, that we studied so far. Adipose is round or oval shaped cells filled in with fat globules present beneath the skin and around internal organs. Its function, it stores fats, acts as insulator and protects delicate organs from shock and jerks. On the other hand, areolar tissue are group of loosely packed cells which are fibrous in nature. These are present everywhere in the body, helps in packaging and support of different organs, maintains the position of different organs, helps in repairing of tissues and join skin to muscles. The next tissue is tendon. Tendon is made up of long fibrous cells. So it is a long fibrous tissue. It is a thread-like tissue. It is very strong in nature but is having limited flexibility. So the tendons are non-flexible almost with very much strength. These are made up of white fibrous cells and basic function of tendon muscle is that it joins muscle to bone. So function of tendon tissue, it connects muscle to bone. Since there is no need of movement between muscle and bone, so it is having limited flexibility and is very strong. The next tissue is called ligament. It is also long fibrous tissue, thread-like structure with great strength, but it is very much elastic. Ligament is highly elastic. It is made up of white fibrous cell and its function that it connects bone to bone and helps in movement. So the next two connective tissue are tendon and ligament. Both are thread-like structure. Tendon being very strong and non-flexible, made up of white cells, joins muscle to bone. On the other hand, ligaments are tissues with great strength and high elasticity, made up of yellow cells and connects bone to bone. The next connective tissue is bone. Bones are porous structure made up of living cells. These are very tough and strong structure, non-flexible. Bones are considered as hardest connective tissue. Bone provide framework to the body. It provides shape and strength to the body. Also, bone protects internal organs such as brain, lungs, liver, etc. So, bones are very hard and strong connective tissue which are non-flexible, porous and provides framework to the body. The next connective tissue is cartilage. Cartilage are non-porous structure. These are widely spaced structure and these are softer than bones. Cartilage are harder than muscles but softer than bones. These are flexible, smooth and soft connective tissue. It provides support to the body parts and gives flexibility. It provides shape and is present at the places where partition is required. Being flexible and soft, it allows a little movement. Cartilages are present at the places like nose tip and in between the ribs and between vertebrae. So it is the connective tissue which is smooth, soft and provides flexibility to different body parts. Ear pinna is an example of cartilage. Nose tip is an example of cartilage. Between two vertebrae, cartilages are present as cushions. So these are next to connective tissue. The next connective tissue is blood. Blood is the fluid connective tissue. It is a liquid connective tissue which is red in color. Blood is red in color due to presence of RBC or red blood corpuscles. It consists a special substance called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a red colored pigment. It has the ability to bind with oxygen. So hemoglobin binds with oxygen and carries it with itself to each and every part of the body. So hemoglobin is oxygen carrying pigment which is red in color, and due to that presence of hemoglobin, blood is red in color. Blood have four components: RBC, that is red blood corpuscles; WBC, that is white blood corpuscles; plasma and platelets. The plasma is a light yellow, pale colored liquid of inorganic nature. It is straw colored, which contains proteins, salts, hormones and various inorganic substances, and in the plasma other components of blood are dissolved. It provides liquid base to the blood. The other component of blood is RBC. RBC, as we discussed earlier, red blood corpuscles. It is red in color due to presence of respiratory pigment or oxygen carrying pigment called hemoglobin. Its main function that it carries oxygen from one place to another. The next component of blood is called WBC. It is white in color and it provides immunity to the body. WBC has various types, various components, and all these components perform various functions to provide immunity. Like some components are there which engulf foreign particles, some are there which kills those foreign particles, some particles are there, some components of WBC are there which memorize the sequence or toxins secreted by those harmful substances or germs. So in this way, different components of WBC perform different functions, but all together they are responsible for providing immunity to the body. So WBC is to provide immunity to the body. And the fourth component of blood is called blood platelets. These are irregular disc-shaped cells which are responsible for blood clotting. Blood clotting is a defensive mechanism of body. Blood clotting is a mechanism which occurs when there is some injury or cut. Due to any injury or cut, when blood flows out of the body, these platelets perform some chain reaction and helps in blood clotting. The blood clots and it stops the flow of blood. So in that way, blood platelets helps in the body to protect from excess blood loss in case of injury or cut. So these are four different components of blood: RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets. As we discussed the functions of RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets, blood had some other functions also. it maintains body temperature and pH of the body. You know about pH scale. You must have studied about pH scale in chemistry. So blood maintains the body temperature and it is continuously flowing inside the body. So it is always maintaining the temperature of different body organs. It also maintains the pH of the body. Blood is basically responsible for transport of substances, transport of oxygen, CO2, minerals, nutrients, food, hormones, all these takes place with the help of blood. So it is the main transporting substance of the body, and blood carries oxygen with the help of the respiratory pigment called hemoglobin. The next connective tissue is called lymph. Lymph is also a fluid connective tissue. It is in liquid state. It is white in color. It is white in color because it lacks hemoglobin. It lacks hemoglobin, it lacks RBC. So it is white in color. It has two components, plasma and WBC. Actually, lymph is formed of blood only in the strictly high pressure condition. Blood drains out from blood capillary and larger particles remains inside the capillary and smaller particles comes out. Those smaller particles are plasma and WBC. So in that condition it is called lymph. So as compared to blood, blood has four components, RBC, WBC, plasma and platelets, but lymph is having only plasma and WBC. RBC is not present and that's why lymph is white in color, and also platelets are not present and that's why lymph cannot clot. It contains only plasma and WBC. Lymph helps in transport of substances only in one direction. Lymph forms tissue fluid and it carries substances from tissue to blood only. So for a short distance in one direction it carries some substances. Again, it cannot carry oxygen and it lacks hemoglobin or RBC. It carries some digestive substances, some nutritive substances, larger fat globules, some amino acids, etc. only for a short distance from tissue fluid to blood. Also, it carries CO2 back from tissue to blood. The basic function of lymph, it is having WBC and it provides immunity. It is very responsible and very important part for body immune system. It provides immunity and it kills microorganisms present in the body. So these are complete 8 types of connective tissue: adipose, areolar, tendon, ligament, bone, cartilage, blood and lymph. Students, this is your assignment question. The very first question, what are different types of connective tissue? Only you have to name different types of connective tissue. The second question is, differentiate between A, blood and lymph, B, tendon and ligament, and C, bone and cartilage. So you will differentiate on the basis of cell type, cell structure, its function. The third question, mention some functions of blood. So here you will write down some functions of blood. And the fourth question, name the respiratory pigment found in humans. So you will write down the name of the respiratory pigment or oxygen carrying pigment which is present in the humans. You will get all the answers in the video itself. So watch the video carefully and write down the answers. Thank you.